If you're dealing with the IRS and the letters keep coming, the levies feel close, and you're wondering how soon someone can actually step in and stop this, you're not alone. I can't tell you how many people sit across from me in Tacoma and say, I just need to know how fast you can protect me. I'm John Sterbick. I'm an attorney, tax attorney, and I've helped Washington taxpayers deal directly with IRS collections for years. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly when representation starts protecting you, what can stop immediately, what takes a little longer, and what has to be handled strategically. Because if we don't act quickly and correctly, the IRS can garnish wages, levy bank accounts, and file lien. And once that money is gone, it's much harder to get it back. The 30-day clock is real. If you live in Washington and you just received a letter from the IRS, you may have as little as 30 days before they can legally start taking your paycheck or freezing your bank account. Not 6 months, not whenever it feels convenient, 30 days. And here's something most people don't realize. Because Washington is a community property state, your spouse's wages or bank accounts are fair game. In other words, they can be affected as well as your bank accounts, your joint accounts, and whatever you have as assets. Even if the tax debt is mostly yours, that's usually when the panic sets in. The good news is this. In many cases, I can step in and stop IRS collections within 24 hours. To be frank with you, as soon as you sign me up, I can start protecting you before you leave the parking lot. Let me explain how that works, what the IRS can do after a final notice. Once you receive a final notice of intent to levy, the clock starts. After 30 days, the IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank account, file a federal tax lien, intercept future tax refunds. And unlike most creditors, the IRS does not need a court order to take these actions. It's all administrative. If you live in Seattle, Tacoma, Spokane, Bellevue, or anywhere in Washington, this is strictly federal enforcement. There's no state income tax here. So when collection begins, it's the IRS directly. How protection starts, protection can begin the moment you sign a power of attorney. IRS Form 2848 allows me to get in contact with the IRS immediately. Once that form is on file, I become your legal representative. The IRS must speak with me instead of you. In fact, if they call you, tell them, speak to me as your representative. Calls stop coming to you. The letters come to my office, but you're going to receive the originals. I can immediately request a collection hold. In many cases, I can contact the IRS the same day or the next business day. I'll let you know. I'll send you a notice indicating to you that bankruptcy has been put on hold so you can have peace of mind so you can sleep at night. That pause, that hold on your collection gives us and you breathing room to evaluate your options and prevent further damage. For example, a client in Tacoma contacted me on a Thursday afternoon after receiving a final notice of intent to levy. She was terrified her bank account would be frozen. That's how she pays her bills. We signed the power of attorney electronically. By Friday morning, I was on the phone with the IRS and collections were placed on hold. Within 24 hours, the immediate threat was stopped. When wages are already being garnished, sometimes clients call after garnishment has already started. In one Spokane case, clients' wages were being hit every payday. Within 24 hours of stepping in, we were able to get the garnishment lifted while negotiating a payment plan. The key is act quickly. The IRS moves fast once deadlines pass, but they also follow a procedure. When an attorney steps in and shows active resolution, they will usually pause enforcement to allow proper review. Unfortunately, though, the IRS is governed by a computer system that sometimes acts on its own, and voila, you're the victimized from collections. What a collection hold really means is it's temporary. It's not permanent. It's a pause. It allows us to gather your financial information, review tax transcripts, and determine the best long-term solution. Whether it's an installment contract, offer a compromise, filing a bankruptcy, and wiping out this debt, getting rid of penalties and interest, things like that. That solution might be specifically an installment contract with monthly manageable payments. And often compromise if you qualify to settle for less, from this amount to this amount. Current non-collectible status if you are suffering a hardship because of the collections. Or in serious cases, like I said earlier, you can file bankruptcy. Bankruptcy provides immediate protection as well. If it's appropriate, protection begins as soon as you file. A legal rule called the automatic stay forces the IRS to stop garnishments, levies, and collection activity. However, Not all tax debts can be discharged in a bankruptcy. The age of the debt and your filing history matter. It makes a difference. That's why a full review is critical before choosing that option. Now the question is, how fast can relief really happen? If you call today and we file a power of attorney, we can stop collection immediately. You know, what happens when you wait? I once worked with a client who ignored IRS letters for months, hoping the issue would just go away. By the time he reached out, the IRS had already levied his bank account and filed a lien against his home in Tacoma. And we were able to help him get that lien removed and get part of the levy released. But it took longer, required more work, and cost more than if he had just acted sooner when he received the notice. Waiting never improves your options. Acting early almost always does. So what should you do next? If you have an IRS notice sitting on your kitchen table, here's what to do. Do not ignore the letters. Open them up. Do not try to negotiate alone if you're overwhelmed. Gather your recent tax returns, IRS notices, and pay attention. Contact a tax attorney as soon as possible. You deserve fast, decisive protection. In many cases, that protection can begin within 24 hours. Now here's the bottom line. The sooner you have a tax attorney step in, the sooner the pressure starts to shift. Once we file a power of attorney and formally contact the IRS, you're required to deal with us. We can simply request an installment contract, which puts a hold on collections immediately. That alone can stop the calls, pause certain collection actions, and give us room to put a real plan in place. The timing matters. If the levy is already scheduled or your wages are about to be garnished, every day counts. Waiting too long limits your options and makes the process more expensive and more stressful than it needs to be. If you're in Tacoma or anywhere in Washington and you're facing IRS collections, don't sit on it and hope it goes away. It won't. Just call my office and schedule a consultation. We'll look at where you stand and see how exposed you are right now and how quickly we can move to protect you. You don't have to deal with the IRS by yourself. They know their stuff. You don't know anything about it. You might be a contractor. You might be a dentist. You might be a clerk at a store. But you know nothing about dealing with the IRS. It's a new situation which needs to be taken seriously. But you have to take that first step.